Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take a look here at Solana, see what's going on. It is still on the pullback. Not a lot of support at this golden pocket level here. I was expecting 146 to 148 range to be a little bit more substantial, but you got to keep in mind too, Bitcoin is pulling back pretty significant on a weekend. With low volume. So that does generally provide a lot of interesting results in coins like Solana that are still profitable and still have potential for pullback. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves and say let's just go crazy with a lot of, high leverage long positions. If you're going to do a long, which we have, honestly, complete disclosure, I would say a low leverage long is probably the best bet at this point because we really don't know what the market's going to give us. Okay, so again, just better safe than sorry. There's no way around it. Good news is with our low leverage shorts, we took some nice profits from Solana though on the way down. Good 54%, and ICP 52% and 50% there. So majority of these are trades we took last week. We took one last week, a BNB trade as well. And this week we did take some profits on AVAX as well. So the truth is though, a lot of the shorts that I wanted to open this week, they kept running and wasn't able to get the buyback on the rejection of the more recent local fibs. At this point here, things are not really even bouncing back the way that they should. Okay, so Solana's lost complete control, and there's a decent chance we could see the price action continue lower. So again, when I sent out that alert here, the trade alert for Solana yesterday, I did mention that if you do take the signal, ensure you secure profits and watch it closely. It was actually in a good 20 to 25% profit based on the current leverage, and not to get greedy, but again, it's pulling back, right? Again, that's just how things work as the standard stuff. But once more, taking a look at the charts, we're going to have to figure out if it's worthwhile either keeping that open. Do we flip short? What's the deal? Generally, it's best not to flip to hit that reverse button because it does cost extra in fees. But if you do end up closing the trade, I totally understand it. What we want to look at here, first of all, is liquidation to the downside. There's not a lot. Okay, it's just like this free fall that just keeps happening. So good news is we're starting to see a lot less longs trying to enter the market, which is great because then it just prevents the price from continuing lower because there's less motivation to push the price down. But at this point here, we can see this lower level 142. There's maybe about $1 billion worth of liquidation at 142. That would be the next target. So my guess, we're going to see a bounce right off of 142. Okay. So again, that's kind of what we're looking at here for Solana for the moment. Let's look at the charts to kind of see where we're at here because again, Bitcoin is filling its CME gap. So just to clarify, we have a pretty massive CME gap at this lower level here of 58.5 upwards of 61K. Now to clarify, if you're not familiar with this, you didn't watch my Bitcoin video yet, there is another CME gap forming already because CME closed on Friday at 63,000. Okay, we're at low 60K right now for Bitcoin. What does that mean? Well, that means there's going to be a new CME gap that needs to get filled to the upside. Okay, so we're going to probably see a solid bounce come tomorrow. No, come Monday. Monday would be probably the more appropriate consideration there. Therefore, Solana is due for a correction or a bounce to the upside because we look at overextension here. This bad boy has been continuing down way too long for quite a significant amount of hours. Okay, so again, just keeps on bleeding out. It's going to have to bottom out soon, and we are in that support range. So let's talk about that. The support range I'm mentioning here is this lower area of control. Point of control is the best way to describe it. And this is basically where you see the most amount of volume. So in the last, 3 months, somewhere since March, I guess it's more like 5 or 6 months, we've seen the most amount of buying pressure between 130 and 145. I'm rounding down a little, maybe 150 be a better number. So 130 to 150 is that area of control. So this tells us that there's the most amount of people trying to buy in at that level. Therefore, there's more support, so the price travels into that area. We're going to see a lot more buying pressure because people feel like it's a good value. That's generally what we're seeing here. So the points of control are nice because they really help you, get a good understanding of support levels. And then if we kind of combine that with this liquidation level at 142 and not much left besides this low 130 mark, there's a solid chance we're going to see recovery here soon. Worst case scenario, low 130s is retested and the price recovers from there. My anticipation is that Bitcoin will fill its CME gap to the downside soon, and then of course to the upside, it'll refill that new gap upwards of 63K. Right? Again, a lot of this hinges on how the market closes or opens tomorrow, depending on which one you're following. So there's a lot of little things that are still TBA, but for the moment, that's kind of where we're at. Okay, other than that, we still have potential for further downside. We haven't bottomed out yet on the RSI. MACD is still diverging. Stochastic is trying to swing up. But just got to recognize this is more so just a bottom. Okay, we're floored out, so to speak, on Solana. So that basically just implies that Stochastic is due for a correction, but it's also just a false positive, if you will. We can also see here that we are tentatively closing below the 200-day SMA. That's where this 0.618 fib level is supposed to hold as a strong support, because it was combined with a simple moving average, the 200-day SMA. That's generally going to be a good support range. Okay, and again, it's a range, not a level, because you see here, the price will jump above and below the 200-day SMA all the time. Okay, but the key takeaway here is that we should be bottoming out sometime soon. That's the concept. All right, so again, daily time frame not looking great, but we got a couple of things still forming, if you will. We haven't truly closed the daily time frame yet, so in turn we got to kind of wait for that to happen before we can kind of summarize that today was a terrible day. It's starting off not so good though. There's no way around it. A good 7% correction on the day, not really the greatest. Having said all that, we can see here on the 4-hour time frame, we're below all moving averages, of course, until we get back up over the 20-day SMA. Probably recommended not to consider a long position. We see here as well, we can see we are under 30 on the RSI. Now again, when we took that long yesterday, we were bouncing off of that 30 level, and it was looking like it was going to hold. Solana was going sideways and up, while Bitcoin was going sideways, period. It was a very, most coins that perform better than Bitcoin when the price of Bitcoin is going sideways imply they're going to bounce. And with these key levels, there's a lot of reasons why. And if you did the same thing, taking along at that 0.618 fib level, it seemed like a good idea. Hindsight's 2020 though, right folks? Take a look at where we're at now. This is just the way the market goes. All the more reason why we had so many more shorts open than longs. It's just extremely risky to take any longs. And if we do take a look at the point of control here for just say the last 1.5 months, once more, this kind of reaffirms it. In the last month and a half, roughly, ever since June, mid-June, we've seen 135, 136, that lower point of control, holding strong here at that 0.786 fib level. So my speculation is that we're going to see some solid support at 136, 137 if the price travels down that far this weekend. Keep in mind, weekends get a little more exaggerated. Bitcoin dominance is shooting up here. This is not the cause, this is more so the effect. But generally speaking, with that going up, it just implies a lot of alts are just flopping. I got to get some of those videos. I'm going to start saving them. But if you've ever seen those memes about when Bitcoin trips and falls, Bitcoin's corrected itself by 1.5%. The rest of the market is literally somewhere between 4 to 12% average drop. That is ridiculous. So again, it's just a lot of freak out, a lot of fear. So try not to buy into that. Or more importantly, do buy into it, because once again, buying the fear is the best way to go than it is to buy greed. Okay, and generally that's the concept. Anyways, don't take that literally, because obviously it's not necessarily the best conditions to buy. I would recommend though, just to kind of circle back here, wait until RSI crosses back up over 30. At that point, you can have a little bit more sense and security in knowing that if you were to take a long, it might be a better long. Okay. But again, there's no other way around it. There's really no good long market right now. And the truth is here, we're still under the cloud, lagging spans free and clear, conversion lines below the baseline. There are 0 out of 10 reasons to take a long position right now. If you are in the long that we had taken, however, keep in mind, it's not the worst thing ever. We're averaging into our price. The whole entire purpose of averaging in is to get in this major support zone. Okay. So again, whether it bounces now or later, should still be in good shape. There's going to be a lot of volume that needs to come through in order to break that support, that point of control. So again, whether or not you get in now or in the 130s, there's a solid chance that we're going to see a bit of a relief rally early next week to fill the new CME gap that Bitcoin is forming. Okay. So again, price action is right around here. Okay. It's done something like this here. If we close today or tomorrow, just say roughly at 61K or lower, there's going to be a cause for returning the price back to 63K to fill their bags, because again, there's that deficiency there. There's a lot of profit to be taken. Okay, so again, it's an interesting thing the way that it all works out, but it's important to recognize that. All right, that's where we're at, folks. If you comment below, I'd greatly appreciate it. More so, just always hit the like button when you watch my videos. That really helps grow the channel. Get this in front of more people who deserve not to get destroyed by the market. So appreciate you watching. Thanks again so much for your time. Oh, very last thing, of course, make sure you join us with Bitunix, folks. Awesome rewards. Use my link to register. CryptoCache.tech too if you want to become a better trader. I have a lot of new traders coming over. I would highly recommend you read through my signals guide, and then make sure that obviously you follow our trade alerts, because these are trades that I'm planning to take. I kind of give you heads up after I analyze the charts and let you know specific key levels that are important. So these are available to our Pioneer members and higher. I hope you all have a good rest of your day though, either way. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you soon.